Right, students, good morning. I am going to do 3.3 and 3.4 and maybe 3.5 today. Without you guys, you are Friday the 27th. You guys are writing communications later. So I'm going to do this recording and video on this 2 or 3 exercises so that you guys can watch it maybe over the weekend. And when we start on Monday, we can go through question and answers and go through certain sections that maybe you stuck in Unit 3.3 and 3.4 and maybe 3.5. All right. So now I'm actually talking to myself here alone, but that's for you guys to watch. All right. And to understand, and you can start practicing definitely. So I'm going to share my screen and over there. And right, you see my desktop. I'm just checking something here quickly. I won't be long. That's just a message here. And right, here we go. So basically, I copied and pasted. I downloaded the exercises from Blackboard. You know Blackboard already, Unit 3.1, 3.2, 3.3. They're all over there. Let me minimize that. And yeah. Sorry about that, students. And they're on the desktop over here, 3.3, 3.4, and 3.5. So let's open up 3.3. It's got to do with basic formatting and formulas. So we did 3.1, which was, let's open up, formatting, and 3.2, which was, 3.1 was formulas, auto sum, minimum, maximum, average, median, all those formulas. And 3.2 was the formatting side. Now, this exercise is a mix of both of them. So let's have a look. Let me open up the questions. And yes, here we go. It's columns, decimal places, minimum, today's date. That is something new. That 3 at the bottom. I'm just going to highlight it in yellow because this is basically of 3.1 and 3.2. So this is something added on to this exercise. And let's open up the starter file. All right. And let's make the starter file a little bit bigger so you guys can see, and a little bit smaller so that I fit everything in over there. So now you guys can have a look and see on what's happening here. So we're going to take this document. Let me see if I have. Okay, I do. We must take that document, which is this document over here, and we're going to format it, and we're going to edit, and we're going to make all the changes using formulas, using the standard toolbars and the formatting toolbars, the tab buttons at the top, all these features over here, and in here, and in here, and so on, and so on, and so on. And we're going to make this basically look like this when we're done. All right. So let's look at the questions. Open the spreadsheet, which we do. Insert your name, surname, and the file name and date as a footer. So name, surname at the bottom on the left-hand side, the exercise 3.3 in the center, and the date on the right-hand side, but we're going to do it as a footer. So basically, we need to switch this view. We in normal view, we must go into page layout view. Now, if you look at that, and if you look at that over there, that's page break, that's page layout, that, and that is exactly the same. So I'm going to click on here, and I'm going to make the screen a little bit bigger, and they want us as a footer at the bottom to type in your name, which is my name, the exercise, and today's date on the right-hand side. Page number, date, the current date. See here, these are the date, headers, and footer features. So that's a current date that we place at the bottom. And when we click anywhere away in here, today is the 27th of March, 2026. And I save it, and they probably want me to switch back into normal view. So we are currently view page layout, and we're going to go back to normal. And we scroll up, and there we are. So let's see. Okay. They didn't ask us to do that there. And then I will say, I'm going to add in another point here. Change back to normal view. Normal view. All right. Merge and center the two main headings at the top, which we did already do. So it's that heading and that heading. They want us to merge and center it, but they don't tell us from where to where. We see this document ends in column F. So I'm going to merge and center from A to F, home tab, merge and center, and I'm going to merge and center the quarterly profit from cell A3 to F3, and merge and center. So far, so good. Okay. Adapt the column widths where necessary. That is another way, point number 5 of saying what? Auto fit the columns. It's another way of saying adapt the columns so that we can make the information that we see inside fit. So in other words, double click, cursor in between B and C, double click, 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 and click, click. So we auto-fitted the columns. Right align the column headings, alignment. The column headings. Let me just see. Oh, they refer, sorry, they're referring to column row 5 and row 6, I think. So what we're going to do, I'm going to shade in this with my mouse, and I'm going to right click. I'm going to right align. Can you see there? Center aligned, left aligned, and we right aligned all the words that shifts more to the right hand side. Let me just open up this door for the dog. Okay. Now there. Right. Let's see now. So we right aligned all those columns and rows. In other words, the little subheadings, the columns, subheadings. What's that row? Let's just check again. Row 5 and row 6. All right. In cell F4, insert today's date using the today's date formula. In F4, why is it F7? That's a mistake. In the yellow piece, F7. F7. Let's see the answer sheet. It is F7 in line with today's date. All right. Insert a formula in F7. I'm going to highlight that piece in red and bold for you to see, so that we can insert today's date, which is the 27th of March, 2026. So this is the today's formula, students. Inside here, formulas, recently used, insert a function called today. And I go, and I click, I see the word today there, and I say, okay. And I click on okay. And look what happens. For 3 marks in your exam or 2 marks, we just inserted the today's date formula over there. Can you see it? In cell F7, not F4. All right, I will make that changes also on the question paper. Right, so we got that covered. In the total column of F11 and F19, use conditional formatting to highlight the values that are less than, or the totals that is less than 20,000 Rand. Blue, I'm just giving it different colors, and apply a green fill with a green text to that column. Great. So F11 to F19, let's see. But there's a problem. There's no totals in. So what are they trying to tell us? We need to determine the totals first before we can apply the conditional formatting. There's a little bit of a trick here. In other words, we must add that up and get the total. Add them up and get the total. Same for that one over there and all of them there. And then apply the green conditional formatting feature. So we're going to auto sum. We're going to add up. Add, auto sum. I'm going to take all of them there, shading with my mouse till there, and auto sum. It adds up the values for me automatically. So in other words, what am I saying? That plus that plus that plus that is equal to that. And the same for that and the same for that. All of them all the way down till there. But you know, and I know in accounting, we're probably going to determine what the total expenses are. So we need to add something there too. A shade in everything. And we're going to total them vertically, down, 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 down. 4,000 plus 5,000 plus 1,000 plus 10,000, all of them. We're going to add, and the totals will appear in there at the bottom of all of these quarters, including the grand total. So I'm going to shade in with my mouse, left click and drag this area down, the range, and again, auto sum. So that plus that plus that plus that, all of them is 27,000. All of them is 37,000. All of them are 32,000. Same for them and the same for them. All right. So we added across and we added down. We added horizontally and we added vertically. So we got the total expenses and we got the total incomes values over there. I'm just going to use a highlight. Yellow. Yellow. So far, so good. Right, let's see next. Let's scroll up. Bold the headings, total expenses, net profit, highest and lowest. Okay. Calculate the total figures for in column F, which we just did. We just did that earlier on. But before we continue, we must still apply the conditional formatting. So from F11 to F19, F11 to 19. They want us to apply the conditional formatting to highlight the values that are less than 20,000 Rand and use a green color. So it's looking right at me if I go all the way to the top. highlight the cells that are less than, see the keywords? And we type in amount of 20,000 Rand on our keyboard, but what color? Not red, not yellow, but the green color. And okay, so if you look at this, can you see there? And you look at that, can you see there? It's very much the same. All good. Let's see now. Where we? Okay, number 10. Bold the headings, total expenses, net profit, highest. Let's see. Oh, take that over there and all of them over there, and we apply bold. That's it. Obviously, what do you think? They want us to determine the net profit. Accounting. That minus that is equal to that. Then they want us to determine the highest expense. What's the highest value here? Looks like 10,000. What's the lowest value here? 895. And once we do the one column, we apply the autofill to all of the others. So in other words, question 11, 12, 13, 14, we are going to do 11, 12, 13, we're going to do right now. That can't be 13. How can that be 10, 11, 12, 13? And that is 12. That must be a 13. That must be a 13 because I added a question in there at the top. A 13. A 13 and a 13. And I'm going to take 14 and the last one, 15. All right. So where we now? Calculate the total figures. Change the total figures, which we did do. Yellow. And we bolded all that work. Yellow. Change the orientation to landscape. Okay, portrait landscape. Change the page layout and the orientation of the layout to landscape. Now, what is landscape? Almost like your cell phone. When you watch a movie on YouTube, you can change your phone to horizontal, across, or you can change your phone to and keep it as vertical. All right. So that, students, is page orientation. We did do it in 3.1 and 3.2, and obviously margins. Watch out for the normal, wides, and narrows. So we are currently in landscape. Perfect. Now they want us to calculate the following. Okay, easy peasy, we did this already. Determine the net profit. Straightforward. Mathematics is equal to, with my keyboard, I click on my mouse 45 with a minus sign, and I click on 27 and enter. Pardon. Right. What is the highest value over here? Formulas recently used the maximum value of this range over there. 10,000, like I said. And okay, what is the smallest, lowest value in over there? Again, formulas recently used. Let's see, min. And my range from there to there. Not the total expenses. It stops at B19. 895. Like I said there. Okay. Let's make it a color. Highest. Let's choose a different color. Light blue. Light blue. And the lowest, let's choose a orange. And an orange. Now, basically, students, they want me to apply it to the rest of the other columns, and I click in that corner, right bottom box. Will you see the black cross? I keep my finger on the left click, and I pull it to the right. I keep my finger on the left click in that right bottom corner, and I pull it to the right. And the same I do for the lowest expense, and I pull it to the right. So they're trying to tell me 18,000 is the biggest, 13,000 is the biggest, 11,000 is the biggest. So all that blue are the biggest, highest values. And all those little ones at the bottom, 500, that's a small value, orange. 895, that one over there. 567, that one over there. So far, so good. So I just made colors with smallest and biggest to show you it works. We work on color codes. Let's see what else do they want me to do. Freeze the top row, only freeze panes. Freeze panes. Let me just see something. Okay, freezing of panes. Easy peasy. The very top row. Only. So what do? This is very important, students. I place my cursor in the second row so that my pane can be freezed in the first row, the row above. And we go to View tab, Freeze Panes, and the top row only. You see that little line there? That line tells us that the top row will stay frozen. So if you use your mouse and you scroll up and down, look what happens. The top row stays frozen. It doesn't move. The Nico Group Arts and Entertainment stays frozen. Pardon. And we save. And let's look at the annexure. Looks good. We can't see the line over there, obviously, but that is how you do it. And obviously, we are going to save. Right. We did quite a lot. We covered the outcomes. So your exercise looks like, I'm going to take all the colors away. All of them, except that last row. And I'm going to say Home tab, no fill. And that 3 at the bottom over there. Because we want to see no fill. We want to see the green, the conditional formatting. And now we save it. And we exit. And I save it, the questions, and I exit. And I'm back onto, and we're going to rename this exercise to what? Your surname, your student number, your group, A, B, C, F, T, and exercise EXE 3.3. And I click away. Now I'm going to copy and paste this because I'm lazy. I don't want to type it again. And I'm also going to rename, exit the folder. Right click, rename, delete, and Control V on my keyboard shortcut and paste it. Now I'm going to zip this file. Right click, compress, zip it, and there it is over there. This is the file we want. We upload to Blackboard. So students, this is exercise 3.3. Have a look, watch him. Let's go to 3.4. And the questions. Okay. Let's leave this one for now. Maybe I'll take a break and I'll do this one later. So this is exercise 3.3. Then I will do 3.4 a little bit later or Saturday. Because now we're getting tricky with substitute, count if, text today's date, it gets a little bit tricky here. Concatenate joining of words and counting of data and information. So check your outcomes. Let's do this one later, or I'll do it tomorrow or Sunday. All right, students, let's take a break and watch the video of 3.3. Then we can roll with this one soon. All right, let me stop my sharing of my screen. And let me stop the recording. All right.